Hey there, welcome back to What's Your Take? I'm Wyatt Spalding, and today we're going to talk about Coach K's last game. It was going to be sad but happy because I thought they were going to win, but they blew it! They blew the game. Their largest lead was 9 points. North Carolina's largest lead was 14 points. Oh man, when the Duke was up by 9, I thought they had it. I thought they had the game. Coach K, still the best coach of all time, in my opinion. I'll get into that at the end of the show, why he's the best coach of all time. But let's talk about the game. Well, North Carolina, they said they shot almost 60% in the second half. Now, they were going to say what Duke shot, but I turned it off by that point. But North Carolina, they had four guys that scored 20 points or more. So let's get into that. Babcock, he played 30 minutes, and he was the reason why they won. Not just because he played 30 minutes, but he went 10 for 11 from the field, scored 23 points, had 7 rebounds. I mean, he was the guy for North Carolina. This team ran through him last night. They cannot win without him, obviously. And, yeah. I saw, like, during the game, they put it up that when he was out, because in the first half he was out because he had 2 fouls or something, and they were like a minus 11 without him, but they were a plus 23 with him. They guaranteed 23 points with Babcock on the floor. And then Manicky, he went 7 for 16 from the field, 5 threes he made out of 10, shot 50% from the three-point line. I mean, that's just insane. That's crazy. Like, if you shoot 50% or better, you're having a pretty good game. And he was the only one that showed up against Duke when they played at North Carolina last game. But he had 20 points, 11 rebounds, so he had a double-double. Then you had R.J. Davis. He had 21 points, 9 for 16, 2 for 4 for threes. And then you had Love. He had 22 points, and Black had 6. Oh, man. 4 guys for North Carolina scored 20 points or more. And Duke only had 1 guy scored 20 points or more. And that was Paolo Banchero. Now, Banchero, he led him in the first half. He was the reason Duke was winning. They were going right through him, made a couple good spin moves. Babcock was just dominating right away. He scored 15 points in the first half, but only scored 8 in the second half. He went 11 for 26, 1 for 5 for threes, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Well, that's good. He's not much of an assist guy sometimes. But still, I thought he was on the verge of having like 33 or more instead of 23. But no, it did not happen. I mean, off the bench, you had Roach. He had 15. Griffin did not show up. They needed Griffin to show up. He's sometimes been the second best player on Duke, and he only had 5 points, went 2 for 5. Mark Williams, went 8 for 11, had a double-double. He had 13 rebounds, 16 points. But I think he had like 11 rebounds in the first half and like 2 in the second. Come on, man. And then you had Trevor Keels had 12 points, 2 for 7 from 3 though. And I'd like to see him like make at least 4 threes, but you know, just Duke was struggling. And honestly, what won the game in North Carolina was their defense. I thought like 6 minutes ago, North Carolina's defense was really good. It was pretty good. Duke was struggling the entire second half, or at the 6 minutes on until the end of the game. They could not get anything in, and they struggled a lot. But what happens, I did hear on a podcast, Ion College Basketball podcast. Go listen to it if you're a college basketball fan. I love it. It's great. podcast, but they did say if North Carolina won, it would be better for the rivalry because it would be that more intense. And I agree. It is better for the rivalry, probably because I'm more pissed now and angry at North Carolina. So I hope we destroy them if we beat them in the ACC tournament or run into them in March Madness, which I think has never happened. North Carolina and Duke have never played each other in the NCAA tournament. All in all, North Carolina shut down Duke, and Duke couldn't shut down North Carolina, pretty much. But that does not mean that we did not have the best coach of all time. Now, was he the best on that day, yesterday, when they played North Carolina? No, because they lost. And you know what I love about Coach K is during, after the game when he spoke to the crowd and the fans and all his players, he said that was unacceptable. Do not applaud for that. And that's what makes him great, is he doesn't accept losing. That's why he's a great coach. That's why Coach K is the winningest basketball coach in college basketball of all time. He has 1,196 wins. 1,196 wins. Does your coach have that many wins? I don't think so. He has five national championships. 1991, 1992, 2001, 2010, and 2015. 15 ACC championships, and I believe he will have 16 ACC championships coming up this next week in the ACC tournament. 13 ACC regular season titles, 42 first-round draft picks, 3 number 1 picks, Elton Brand in 1999. Then you had Kyrie Irving, I think it was back in 2011 or 12 or whatever. And then you have Zion Williamson, who was in 2019. He had 15, 30 win seasons, inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2001. That was just a little over 20 years ago. So yes, was Duke the better team the other day? No, because North Carolina shut them down. But when you look back on it, Coach K, as of right now, is the best college basketball coach of all time. Of all time. People will say this loss puts a damper on his legacy. Well, I don't think a lot of coaches have done what Coach K has done. Oh, and here's a shocking number. I thought it would be way more, but he has coached 208 players. Only 208? I also heard that on I Have College Basketball. They did the stat, and I was shocked by that. But they made a good point that if you think about it, when Coach K started coaching back in 1980, there was no really one and dones. It was all a lot of guys stayed for 4 years, and so think about it. If you got all these players staying for 4 years, got a bunch of good players, and you only need to recruit like maybe 1 to 3 guys if you already have a bunch of veterans. So, was last night heartbreaking, and does it still sting and burn that they lost Coach K's last game at Duke? Yeah, it does. But the season is not over. Coach K could get his 16th ACC championship and maybe his 6th national championship. Oh, and I say the best stat for last. He's made it to 12 Final Fours. And why do I think that's bigger than the 5 national championships? Because think about it. When you think of like football or baseball, you always think about the championship game, the Super Bowl, the college football national championship, the College World Series. I guess you could say you think about like a tournament more, but really you think about championship. Basketball, they don't even say like, oh, they gotta make it to the national championship game. No, it's always the Final Four. The Final Four isn't even the championship. When you think Final Four, you think semifinals. And Coach K has made it to 12 Final Fours. 12. How many coaches can say they made it to 12 Final Fours? Not very many. And he played in like 7 national championships. The 5 I mentioned that he won, and then he lost in 99 to UConn, and I lost in 94 to Arkansas. But still, you make it to 12 Final Fours, you're playing like 7 championships. That's pretty good. So yeah, as a short term, will people remember that loss yesterday? Yeah. But long term, people are going to remember when they talk about Coach K, all the great things that he's done and the impact he made mostly on his players. So we'll see what happens if Duke can win ACC championship and get Coach K his 16th ACC championship and his 6th national championship and his 13th appearance to the Final Four. Thanks for watching What's Your Take? I'll talk more about college basketball, especially this month because it's March, and March is the month of miracles. It's the month of miracles. Miracles. So stay tuned more on college basketball and March Madness.